Okay, I have the time at 6 p.m. So I will call this emergency special called meeting of the mayor and council for the city of Snellville, Georgia on Friday, March the 20th, 2020 at 6 p.m. We've called the meeting to order. I would like to let anybody know on the call that this call is being audio recorded. And I would like to now take an attendance of the council meetings or the council members who are on the call. Christy Linsky. Yes. Dave Emanuel.
Yes.
Todd Warner.
Present.
Solange Desang.
Present.
Gretchen Schultz.
I'm assuming you're with me.
No, Gretchen. Now, I would like to ask if there is any of the public on the call, if you would please, any public other than the city council, if you would please mute your phones. We would appreciate that. Okay. Okay, we have one item on the agenda for this emergency meeting, and is consideration and action on ordinance 2020-07. And I will read this ordinance in full, as this meeting was just announced several hours ago. This is an emergency ordinance declaring state of emergency in the city of Snellville, Georgia, during the public health emergency of the novel coronavirus disease 2019, COVID-19 global pandemic. Whereas the President of the United States declared a national public health emergency on Friday, March 13th, 2020, and whereas the Governor of the state of Georgia declared a public health state of emergency in Georgia on March the 14th, 2020, and the Georgia General Assembly concurred with the Governor's declaration on March the 16th, 2020. And whereas the World Health Organization has declared the novel coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, a world health emergency and a pandemic. And whereas the governing authority of the city of Snellville, Georgia is the mayor and council thereof. And whereas the charter of the city of Snellville in sections 1.12, 1.14, and 2.16 grants to the city all the powers possible for a city to have, which includes the power to protect the safety, health, and welfare of the public. And whereas the charter of the city of Snellville in section 2.24A grants to the city the power to adopt an emergency ordinance, to declare an emergency, and to make and carry out all reasonable provisions deemed necessary to deal with or meet such an emergency for the protection, safety, health, or well-being of the citizens of the city. And whereas the city of Snellville has taken multiple measures to reduce the risk of community transmission, including closing certain facilities, canceling meetings of the municipal court, planning commission, board of appeals, and city council, as well as canceling certain public gatherings. And whereas additional measures will likely be required in the coming days and weeks to address the fluid situation, and such measures will likely need to be executed quickly and free of the usual formalities and procedures required for city action. It is hereby ordained by the governing authority of the city of Snellville, Georgia, and by the authority thereof. Section 1. The mayor and city council adopts and makes the findings discussed in the recitals above, the factual findings of the mayor and council, and hereby declare a public health state of emergency in the city of Snellville due to the rapid spread of COVID-19 in the United States and the state of Georgia. Section 2. The following provisions shall govern during the public health state of emergency declared herein. Item A. The City Council and all other boards, commissions, or agencies of the city shall have authority to conduct meetings and take votes by teleconference in accordance with OCGA Section 50-14-1G. Item B, the city manager, in consultation with the mayor, shall have the right to order the closing of any restaurant or other place of business that is deemed by the planning director as a potential source for citizen contact that might spread COVID-19. Item C, during the effective dates of this resolution only, a restaurant licensed to sell beer and wine for on-premises consumption shall be authorized to sell unopened bottles or new sealed growlers of beer or unopened bottles of wine for takeout consumption off premises when accompanied by a food order. Item D, the city council authorizes the city manager to utilize the emergency procurement section of the City of Snellville Code of Ordinances, Section 2-445, allowing the city manager to make or authorize others to make emergency procurements of supplies, services, or construction items while there exists a threat to the public health, welfare, or safety, provided that such emergency procurements shall be made with such competition as is practicable under the circumstances. A written determination of the basis for the emergency and for the selection of the particular contractor shall be included in the contract file. This provision shall not abrogate the city's requirements as specified in the official code of Georgia. During the effective dates of this resolution, the city manager's purchasing approval authority above normal spending levels shall be provided to the mayor for approval. Item E, the city council desires to make certain that the chain of authority within city management is clear. If the city manager is unable to perform his duties, the deputy city manager, chief of police, shall assume the duties of the city manager. If the city manager and deputy city manager, chief of police, are unable to perform the duties, the city clerk shall assume the duties of the city manager. Item F, all citizens are encouraged to shelter at their place of residence and to monitor and to adhere to changes to guidelines and/or mandates set forth from the federal, state, or local government and the CDC. To the extent individuals are using shared or outdoor spaces, they should at all times, as reasonably possible, maintain social distancing of at least 6 feet from any other person when they are outside of their residence. All persons are encouraged to only leave their residences for essential activities, essential governmental functions, or to operate essential businesses. Section 3. All ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with the provisions of this resolution are hereby suspended during the effective dates of this ordinance, and the terms and provisions of this ordinance shall prevail. Section 4. This ordinance shall take effect upon passage by the City Council and shall expire by its own terms automatically at 11:59 p.m. on June the 17th, 2020, unless terminated sooner by further action of the Mayor and City Council. Section 5A, it is hereby declared to be the intention of the Mayor and Council that all sections, paragraphs, sentences, clauses, and phrases of this ordinance are or were, upon their enactment, believed by the Mayor and Council to be fully valid, enforceable, and constitutional. Item B, it is hereby declared to be the intention of the Mayor and Council that to the greatest extent allowed by law, each and every section, paragraph, sentence, clause, or phrase of this ordinance is severable from every other section, paragraph, sentence, clause, or phrase of this ordinance. It is hereby further declared to be the intention of the Mayor and Council that to the greatest extent allowed by law, no section, paragraph, sentence, clause, or phrase of this ordinance is mutually dependent upon any other section, paragraph, sentence, clause, or phrase of this ordinance. Item C, In the event that any phrase, clause, section, paragraph, or section of this ordinance shall, for any reason whatsoever, be declared invalid, unconstitutional, or otherwise unenforceable by the valid judgment or decree of any court of competent jurisdiction, it is the express intent of the mayor and council that such invalidity, unconstitutionality, or unenforceability shall, to the greatest extent allowed by law, not render invalid, unconstitutional, or otherwise unenforceable any of the remaining phrases, clauses, sentences, paragraphs, or sections of the ordinance that, to the greatest extent allowed by law. All remaining phrases, sentences, clauses, paragraphs, and sections of the ordinance shall remain valid, constitutional, enforceable, and of full force and effect. Section 6. This ordinance was adopted on March the 20th, 2020. The effective date of this ordinance shall be the date of adoption unless otherwise stated herein. I will take a voice vote of the mayor and council on the call, with Mayor Barbara Bender voting yes, Mayor Pro Tem Dave Emanuel,
Yes.
Councilmember Christy Linsky, yes, Councilmember Solange Destang,
Yes.
Councilmember Todd Warner,
Yes.
Councilmember Gretchen Schultz.
Yes.
Thereupon, we have a unanimous vote to pass ordinance number 2020-07, so the measure has passed. Any discussion or any comment by council members?
Mayor.
Not at this time.
Okay,
Mayor.
so I will take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Hang on. I think Mr. Powell has a comment.
Mayor,
Yeah.
I was curious procedurally about a motion and a second.
I did not call for a motion, did I? No.
No, you didn't.
Ready to-
I wasn't going to call you out. Thanks, Tony.
I'm sorry, I got right on my little tent of reading everything and going down the list. So let's back up. That is the ordinance. So how about we'll do a motion and a second, and then if there's any discussion by council, we will do that, and then we will go through the roll call.
Motion
to approve.
ordinance 2020.
Let's all do it together.
07. As read by the mayor.
I had a motion by Christy Linsky
Second.
and a second by Dave Emanuel. Now, would any council members like to make a comment?
No.
No, thank you.
Therefore, we will move to the vote. And voting. Mayor Barbara Bender, yes. Mayor Pro Tem Dave Emanuel.
Yes.
Councilmember Christy Linsky.
Yes.
Councilmember Solange Destang.
Yes.
Councilmember Gretchen Schultz.
Yes.
Councilmember Todd Warner.
Well, I keep being here though.
Someone's talking over me, but I would say yes.
Okay. So we have a unanimous vote on ordinance number 2020-07. With that, I will take a motion to adjourn the special called meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
There's a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor? We'll go by voice vote again. Mayor Pro Tem Barbara Bender, yes. I'm just that's everywhere. Mayor Barbara Bender, yes. Mayor Pro Tem Dave Emanuel.
Yes.
Councilmember Christy Linsky.
Yes.
Councilmember Solange Destang.
Yes.
Councilmember Gretchen Schultz.
Yes.
And Councilmember Todd Warner.
Yes.
Okay, with that, we have our motion and vote to adjourn. So thank you for any of the public that joined us on this call. We appreciate your support and your help in this matter.